Morning. So it's day 10. It's think about it, the 1st of December today. It's certainly bloody freezing. So last night I camped basically in the middle of a massive industrial complex near an industrial railway line. Wow, it's the frost on my panniers. And the frost on my bike. And frost on my camera. Let's try that again. Yeah, I don't want to get up yet. Got off that idea. So there's the bridge over the River Severn. That's the M4, the new one. The old one's in the background. But it's pretty bitter this morning. It's an amazing looking factory there. Absolutely amazing. So just trying to get the blood flowing. It's -2 according to the weather app. For once I believe it. So I've made it about halfway to Gloucestershire already. It's only 11:30 on day 10. And I'm in a place called Berkeley, which I've never been to. I was only very, very passingly familiar with. Just a little Gloucestershire town. 2 claims to fame, quite extraordinary for its size. The first is it's the birthplace of Edward Jenner, which most people will know is the man that invented the smallpox vaccine. Indeed, he's widely credited of having saved more other human beings in the history of mankind than any other person, because of course for many centuries smallpox was one of the leading causes of death. So that's Edward Jenner. And now I've just read that that little castle over the back of there is reputedly the place where Edward II was murdered in 1327. Well, how about that, eh? It's closed, of course. So this marvellous little town is going to represent a tea and lunch stop for me. I feel fit as a butcher's dog today. Cold but dry. Right, let's get going. He's been trying it on for the last half a mile. She keeps flying off. He keeps trying it on. Yep. Mate, you need to listen to what she's saying to you. It's pretty clear. Mind me videoing you catching it, mate? Do you mind me videoing you catching it? I just happen to be doing a video. Oh, you got a pike. Look at that. No, mid-size. Yeah, to that. And he's off, look, straight down. Thank you for that. The River Severn. Well, Gloucestershire is my 5th county. Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, Avon. And a word for Gloucestershire. I've been a few times, but by bike it's absolutely beautiful. It's flat, which endears it to me greatly. But lots of little picturesque villages and churches and inns. They don't seem to waste a great deal of time with letters for their villages. Names like Ham and Hill and Hull. And I'm actually enjoying it more than Devon and Cornwall. I don't know whether that's more to do with the fact that it was bad weather in Devon and the hills just made me resent its very existence. But yeah, big up for Gloucestershire. The lovely weather helps. I suppose if it was peeing it down or sleet, this would just be a cold, foreboding hellhole. But so this is the River Severn, about 10 miles upstream from where it turns to an estuary. And it's very beautiful. In fact, I can't stop staring at it. I might stay here for a bit. Right, well that's me set up on night 10, just north west of Bristol in a nature reserve. But again, I'll only leave footprints and I'll only take photos. And as for tucked away, well, as I was passing I saw this little grassy track into the woods, and the great thing is you cannot see me. Nope, you cannot see me. Excellent. Tucked away at the edge of some woodland, right on the cycle track. I'll be back on it within 20 metres in the morning. -4 tonight, the coldest night so far, but no rain. And there's me, with the frost on my tent still present from last night. I wrapped the frost away and unwrapped it again at the other end. Right, good night. Morning, day 11, -5, Gloucester to Worcester today. I've got everything. Yep. So that's the yet another camp where I've not been discovered. I'm getting quite good at this stealth camping thing. And there's the cycle track. So that wasn't too painful, was it? Right then, here we go. Can't feel my feet. There's quite a bit of black ice, so really slowly does it and really concentrating. Black ice and thin bike tyres are not good bedfellows. And of course, unlike in a car, the consequences of losing your grip on a bike are instant and punishing. Can't feel my hands or my fingers, so I'm vigorously exercising my hands. But that'll soon ease off, I hope, when I get going a bit. So this is a little bit alongside the River Severn, which is to the left, steaming away in the frigid air. Yeah, certainly awakens the senses, but enjoyable in its own way. One minute you're in the Mendip Hills looking over the entire Somerset levels. Next minute you buy a dike in Droitwich. It's 3 degrees and it's raining. If you need a metaphor, get in your fridge and get somebody to spray a hose pipe at you all day. Okay, my brakes pads have failed. In the wet, downhill, they no longer provide any breakage whatsoever. As I found out on that hill just there. So I need to find somewhere to stay because it's Sunday, there's no bike shops open. And then I need to get my brake pads fixed, and to be fair, 12 days in my bike needs an MOT anyway, so I'll get a bike shop to give me a service. I've taken shelter at the White Hart in Hartley. Hartlebury. Hartlebury. Which is in Worcestershire, apparently. So I need to find somewhere to stay that's near a bike shop. So it's going to require a little bit of research in the smoking shed of a pub that's closed until January. Oh, lovely. That's Bridge North. It better be Bridge North. That was the most difficult 3 hours on the trip so far. It's been raining like you would not believe over the last 2 days. And all of the off-road tracks were just, well, virtually impassable. I mean, thick mud, no traction, big deep puddles, hills. Well, albeit moderate hills when you've got no grip. So walking a lot of the way and making jogging pace the rest of the way, absolutely shattered again. I thought I was fit this morning, but I have to say it feels a bit like it's all catching up with me now. The constant exertion. But this is the first time I've seen the sun for 3 days. So, hello star, very welcome. As if to illustrate the point, 10 seconds after I recorded that video, the whole bottom of that track is under, well, it's about a foot deep in the middle. And you only need to hit a pothole and you'll tip over into it. So, and lots of these little undulations that whilst it's nothing compared to Devon and Cornwall, there has been an awful lot of them today. And it looks like we're getting a better surface now, and I can get something to eat because I haven't eaten for 5 hours and I feel sick. So I'm heading out of Bridgnorth north towards Telford, in the middle of the forest, and I'm looking for somewhere to camp, and it's proving very tricky. I haven't got much daylight left. To the right is the river, which is in spate and right on its banks, so the nice green looking grass alongside it could be a bit of a Trojan horse, because I've no idea what the weather's like further up the catchment. And it's also heavily regulated by bailiffs with fishing pegs, and they'll assume that that's what I'm doing if I camp near the river. This side all the way along has been wet wood, flooded wood, but I've just found a little animal track up into some larch, spruce woodland, and this is going to have to do. And the good thing is the evergreen should keep me secreted, because I think we're on an estate and the chances of gamekeepers and bailiffs coming along is higher. I'm absolutely exhausted. I can't wait to just get in my tent. Right, let's go explore. Very cold last night. Still thawing now. I've got a bit of an issue. My brakes seem to have frozen last night, and when I've unstuck them, they don't work properly. They either come on permanently or they don't work. So joy of joy, let's just hope they thaw off. My gears don't work either, so hopefully that's just the ice. So I could go that way and go and see Ironbridge, but that's a 6-mile detour. But instead I'm going to head to Telford. Not a choice I'd have made, one forced on me by the cycle network. The River Severn again, isn't that beautiful? So we've had 2 prevailing weather conditions on my trip: really wet or clear and icy. Both of them are frustrating in the way that they hold you back. Ice like this, you know, you want to get, it makes climbing the hills more difficult, but then you can't just bat your way down the other side either, because every now and again there'll be a little frost pocket where there's some black ice, and if you come off at any sort of speed, it's well, it's your femur and your pelvis gone, isn't it? So it's really slow. And then in the wet you get the flooding mud, because remember this is all off road, or at least on the cycle network, off main roads. But I've got used to being frustrated at the pace of things and tried to turn it into a plus. It means you can see more, take more in. So I'm about to reach Market Drayton, and beyond that Nantwich, and then that marks the end of the second split of this journey, which is the West Midlands bit. So I've done the southwest and the West Mids, and I head into the northwest section. I like the sound of the word north, anything really. But unfortunately that's just northwest England. Yeah, I'm not halfway yet. But I am having the time of my life, weirdly. Now I don't normally stop and record these, but I've been wondering what all that is on the other side of the river. And it's a salt mine. So they used to take the salt on barges along the River Weaver. But it says at the bottom that now the Winsford salt mine, which is where I am, Winsford near Northwich in Cheshire, produces the vast majority of road de-icing salt for the UK. 1 million tonnes a year. It's quite a lot of tonnes. And it says about 150 metres below my feet, the mine stretches towards Moulton, Watcroft and Middlewich. And it's also used as a secure store for documents and other non-hazardous materials. Keep your documents in a mine. Cormorant taking off there, look. Hello, cormorant. How about that, eh? Fascinating. Now here's the first on this trip. An old AA box. Box 372. We are currently tucked away between Knutsford to the north and Northwich to the south on our little adventure. Do you want to say hello or?
I can do, no I can do.
Right, so we've been riding with
Martin.
Hello Martin.
Hi.
We've been keeping each other companions since Northwich, which was pretty handy because I've no idea where I'm going. This is the only bit that's off the cycle network. He's fitter than me and his bike's better as well. I'll give him that. So, a little bit of heritage. Man United fan, you're the other one, are you?
Hey, up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
We're catching them Blues anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about catching them, but...
Not far behind, only 3 points.
Yeah. For now.
I'm happy because my neighbour across the road, she's a Newcastle fan and he's a City fan.
Well,
laughing at them now. he never shuts up, and I saw him the other morning because he'd not won for a couple of games. He's pulling his fucking face. I'm like, oh, get over it, man. Got that big job.
I don't need to know directions here, I just shout at people which way and they point. Brilliant. See you later, mate. See you later. Yeah. No, I'll give them a miss. I was about to say, the people of Manchester are absolute gems. When they're not shooting at you, they're so willing to help with directions. So I've no idea where I am. Well, I do roughly from a knowledge of Manchester, but what I mean is I don't know what cycle route I'm on anymore. So I'm just heading towards the city centre, occasionally seeking external verification from Manx on the roadside. Somebody just biked past me and shouted at the top of the voice, "How you doing, me modern day slave?" Don't know what that meant. So, cultural tour of Manchester by bike. It's raining, obviously. Begins with West Didsbury. They like to think of themselves as a village within a city. So this is West Didsbury. Right, well, we've got to the city centre. There's the proof. Actually, the cycle lanes are pretty decent. Well done, Manchester. A lot better. City centre, where all the other cyclists are delivering pizzas. Don't know where this is, but I am trying hard to get out of it. I'm quite enjoying Salford. I've just taken directions from an absolute madman. I had to wait till he walked off so I could go the opposite way to the way he told me to go. Peter Kay style. I also, while I was waiting, saw a woman take a roundabout with a fag in one hand and a mobile in the other, using her elbows to turn the steering wheel. So that was pretty impressive. Some real talent. Right, we've finally got out of Manchester. Well, we're in Prestwich and the borough of Bury. I wouldn't dare claim I was in Manchester when in Bury. And there's the River Mersey again, and I'm absolutely shattered because I've been going at it through the city in the rain like Forrest Gump without stopping. And I'm just having a pause point at this marvellous intersection of too many roundabouts. Correction to my last, it's not the River Mersey, it's the River Irwell. Both run through Manchester. How do I know that? Because I'm about to go into the Irwell Riverside Country Park, and the clue's in the name. And thankfully this is the first set of trees that I've seen for about 4 hours, so I'm going to enjoy this. That was an absolutely beautiful little trail by the river. You wouldn't even know you were in Greater Manchester. Lovely the way these little cycle networks are tucked away. Although of course every now and again you do get a little hint that you might still be near the third biggest city in the country. Wonder what they make of the little fluorescent gnome crossing the footbridge with his panniers. Right, it's 5 miles to Bury, which is where I'm going to make my stop for the night. And then as quick as you know it, it fades back to silence again. Jays on the track, squirrels in the trees. Much more my element, this. Right, I'm in Accrington. I'm very wet. There's a very strong smell of cannabis right here. Anyway. Yeah, everything's very wet. Which is a bit of a recurring theme on this trip, really. But hopefully in Accrington I'll find a cafe owner that'll take pity on me, and then later on today it's going to rain less, relatively, and I can think about camping. But I've got a bit of distance to go past Accrington and Blackburn, and then I can get to Whaley, which is my next marker. I just wanted to share this wet moment with you. So I just came round a corner and this little view opened up for me. That's Billington and the Whaley Viaduct, railway bridge, and that's Whaley in the distance. And beyond it, the hills of Bowland. How delightful, even in the mist. So I'm going down there now to get some supplies, and then heading up right in the centre of your screen beyond that holly bush. I'm heading up that valley to find a camp. And if the ever reliable weather app is right, should be alright by the time I get there.
The locals will call it Wally.
Wally.
It's spelt Wally, but you can make your own mind up.
Right, nice one, mate. What's your name?
Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus. You're a good man.
Mate.
Alright, see you later. So, I've just started researching my camp spot for tonight, and the Met Office have now issued a weather warning for rain overnight, torrential rain. Now, the place I was going to go in the Forest of Bowland, I've camped there a couple of times before, and it's pretty much a wet forest, riddled with streams high up in the summer. So I'm no longer convinced, to the point that I've just booked an inn in Worston, Clitheroe. Or Worston, Clitheroe. So I've now got a mattress to look forward to tonight. My morale has improved considerably. That's the start of the Pennines. I said that earlier, but now we're right on top of them. Pretty good day. I've got from the suburbs of North Manchester right up to North Lancashire. So, I don't know how many miles that is, don't really care, but good progress on the map. And then that storm clears in the night, and tomorrow and the day after and the day after I've got decent weather, so a reasonable shot at putting some really good miles in. So there we are. So after some soggy nights and a really soggy morning, it's dried up a little bit, but I'm now looking for my hotel. I think this might be it, the Calf's Head. Oh no, doesn't that look inviting? Doesn't that look inviting? On the bike, this is the River Ribble, which is about 50% up on its normal flow rate, according to a local I've just bumped into. Discharging all that wet weather we've had from the hills to the sea. It's an absolutely beautiful morning, and it promises to stay that way all day. So up into the village of Gringleton, then Bolton by Bowland, then Sladeburn, and across the Pennines, hopefully to the small town of Borthwick by the end of the day. So thoroughly looking forward to today. Some nice weather. Little egret just landed on the bank over there. What a wonderful little river. Well, big river at the moment. Right, a bit of a climb to come. So we're right across the tops of the forest of Bowland, the hills of Bowland now. One of my favourite places in England. Less dramatic than the lakes and far less busy. Almost no tourists. Everyone misses it on their way to the lakes to the northwest. Greener and more rolling than the dales, and just really beautiful. And if I stop, you can hear the sound of nothing. And there really aren't many places in England, certainly, where you can get silence. However, the book now says prolonged 2-mile climb, so no doubt that'll sap the joy from my bones. Right, this might be the top of this bit. Oh, pray that over here it's not one of those false horizons. And it's looking good. Good heavens, that's the I recognise those two mountains there. I'm going to look them up in a minute. Is that Whernside? Or am I completely disorientated? So, that's the top, all right. Good Lord. Just trying to get my bearings. So I think that's Whernside and Ingleborough. Yeah, I think that's Morecambe Bay. I can see Helvellyn. And Scafell Pike, and that is Morecambe Bay. And this hill I've earned more than any other on this trip, and I'm about to enjoy it. I'm not sure my brakes are that good, but I genuinely don't care. Here we go. So to anyone who's done the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge, which I have in I think it's 2018, you can see all three of them next to each other: Pennygant, Ingleborough and Great Whernside. I did all three of those monsters in one day, and in about 5 miles I should be down in the valley and I'll be able to eat, because I've not done that for 5 long hours. But what a beautiful sight against the pale blue sky that is. I'm in a field somewhere near, well, I don't really know where I'm near, Hornby in Lancashire. I've opened my tent about 7:30 at the same time every day, and noticeably darker now at this time. Obviously, but still surprisingly. Sounds quite northern. Bloody record, there you go, look. Right, start again. This, take a photo. Now, I met this crazy bunch last night in the hotel. And no, I've got one, look, I'm doing it on my YouTube video. Oh, do you want one? Go on then.
You want one? You want one?
Yeah, come on then, let's do this. Right, where do you want me?
Just here. Do you want to get in a bit?
Yeah, this will take some explaining on here.
Just on the Facebook and send us some photographs and keep in touch. It's seriously safe journey.
Thank you, my dear.
I'm called Maggie Harris.
All right, Maggie Harris, well, it's been a delight to meet you.
I'm what you call a recycle person.
Oh, yeah.
There's no problem.
Yeah, so I met those ladies last night in the hotel and ended up sitting with them all night, listening to their yarns and they're listening to mine. So that was great. It's a slightly bizarre interlude. Absolutely lovely people. Right, I'm off. Wants to find the key to my bike lock. First beautiful view of the day over to the southern fells of the Lake District and the valley into the River Mint and Keswick. Very nice. Right, on we go. A fair bit of walking on this bit so far. My bike's just too heavy to do anything more than about a 1 in 10. Well, 1 in 8 maybe. And but I do like these little Lake District lanes off the beaten track. I'm having to sort of, for the first time, navigate my own way because there's no direct cycle route. And I'm trying to stay off the A and the B roads. But then every now and again you get rewarded. With views like that. This brings you back to life again. For a bit. I mean, this is an example of why I'm doing it off route. So the fastest route the sat-nav wanted me to take was the cycle paths on the A6. Direct, mostly flat, half the distance, but you wouldn't see this. You wouldn't see this. This would be an absolutely perfect place to stop for lunch if it was lunchtime and I had any food. well, I didn't get to Penrith, but I'm only 4 miles short. And I found a very unglamorous but quite covert camp down near the rail track in the valley of the A6, Shap to Penrith. The temperature has absolutely plummeted. It was quite palpable in the last hour, and I've just checked the forecast and it's going to drop below freezing, so that'll be why. But I'll get unravelled and get some layers on, and all will be good. Don't know what that strange metal structure is there, but it's not electric, so let's get tucked up. It's only 4 o'clock. Yes! I'm quite pleased with that. Land's End to Scotland, starting to sound like a bit of a journey, isn't it? Sure as hell feels like one. And there's the first house in Scotland. John o' Groats 360. Didn't need to see that right now.